Hello, coin enthusiasts. Welcome back to my channel All Old Rare Coins. If you're a fan of rare coins or just fascinated by the hidden treasures of numismatics, you're in for a treat today. We're about to uncover the story of a coin that many collectors might overlook, but when you dig deeper, it turns out to be an absolute gem. Top 1 expensive coin. We're diving into the world of the United States Liberty Half Dollar from 1972, specifically the D Mint Mark version. Buckle up because this coin could be worth far more than you might think, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the Liberty Half Dollar coin, introduced in the early 20th century, became a staple of American currency for many years. It's an iconic symbol of freedom, a representation of the United States' values and history. But as time went on, these coins were slowly phased out, replaced by other denominations, and many of them were melted down or lost in circulation. Fast forward to the 1970s, when the U.S. Mint struck a series of Liberty half dollars, and among them, the 1972 D variety stands out for reasons that will surprise you. In 1972, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Liberty half dollars across several mints. The coin featured a design that was striking and symbolic, with Lady Liberty's face gracing the obverse, surrounded by stars representing the states of the Union, and the reverse showcasing a powerful eagle holding arrows, a branch, and a shield. It was a familiar design that many collectors thought little of at the time. But as is often the case with coins, time has a way of transforming what was once common into something truly special. What makes the 1972 D Liberty half dollar coin so unique? The key is in the rarity and specific details of its production. During the 1970s, the U.S. Mint was going through a series of changes. The coinage was being struck in large quantities to meet the demands of the country's economy, but with those vast numbers came occasional errors or variations in the minting process. The 1972 D half dollar is known for some of these subtle flaws, which makes it a coveted item for numismatists. Most of these coins were used for everyday transactions, circulating through the pockets of Americans during the early 70s. Over time, many of them became worn, scratched, and damaged through heavy use, which is typical for coins that see so much action. However, in recent years, it has become apparent that coins in pristine condition from this era are incredibly rare, and it's these well-preserved examples that attract the attention of collectors. But the real excitement for collectors of the 1972 D Liberty half dollar comes from one specific feature. There are certain varieties and minting anomalies, like doubling on the obverse or slight die breaks, that add even more rarity to an already sought-after coin. These imperfections, known as mint errors, are highly prized because they make the coin unique. Each one is different. Coins with these errors, in particular, are becoming harder and harder to find, and their value skyrockets with each passing year. Now, let's talk about the real reason you're probably here today: the value. A typical 1972 D Liberty half dollar in good condition might only fetch a few dollars. But if you happen to stumble upon one of these coins in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, or better yet, a variety with a unique mint error, you might be holding on to something worth much more than you imagined. It's not unusual for these coins to be valued at thousands of dollars, especially when they are in pristine condition or carry that rare minting flaw. But there's one specific coin from 1972 D that reached a mind-blowing value. You may be wondering just how much it could be worth. Well, if you happen to possess a well-preserved, error-free version of the 1972 D Liberty half dollar coin, it has been known to sell for an astonishing $120,000. Yes, you heard that right, $120,000. That's right, a single coin, no larger than a quarter, could fetch you a small fortune. But how do you find one of these rare coins? It all comes down to keeping your eyes peeled, doing your research, and checking your coin collection for any potential treasures that might be hiding in plain sight. So, if you have any old half dollars lying around, it might be time to dust them off and take a closer look. The next time you're at a coin shop or sifting through a coin jar, remember, that Liberty half dollar from 1972 could be the key to an unexpected windfall. Top 2 rare coin. We're diving into one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics, the United States Liberty half dollar from 1776 to 1976. This coin, with its rich history and powerful symbolism, has captured the imagination of collectors for decades. And what's even more thrilling? It could be worth a fortune. Yes, we're talking about a coin that could potentially make you a small fortune if you happen to have one in the right condition. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 1776 to 1976 Liberty half dollar is one of the most sought-after coins on the market today. Let's take a step back in time and talk about the significance of the year 1776. It was the year the United States declared its independence, a momentous event that forever shaped the course of history. Fast forward 200 years to 1976, when America was gearing up to celebrate its bicentennial, a massive milestone in the nation's journey. To commemorate 200 years of freedom, the U.S. Mint issued a special series of coins, including a unique version of the Liberty half dollar. This particular coin, which bears the dates 1776 to 1976, became a symbol of America's enduring spirit, pride, and independence. The design of the 1776 to 1976 Liberty half dollar was created to reflect both the nation's past and its bright future. On the obverse of the coin, you'll find a beautiful depiction of Lady Liberty, her figure standing tall and proud, symbolizing freedom and the values upon which the nation was built. Surrounding her are 13 stars, representing the original 13 colonies that declared their independence. The reverse of the coin features a powerful image of the Liberty Bell, set against the backdrop of the moon. This design ties together the country's historic fight for freedom and its forward-looking optimism, making it one of the most visually stunning coins ever minted. While the 1776 to 1976 Liberty half dollar was produced in large quantities for circulation, what sets this coin apart is the special history behind it. The bicentennial celebration was one of the most significant events in American history, and these coins were not just currency, they were a piece of history, a commemorative item that marked a major moment in time. It's no surprise that collectors took an interest in these coins from the very beginning, but let's get into the real reason you're probably watching this video: the value of the 1776 to 1976 Liberty half dollar. Most people don't think twice about these coins, as they were struck in large numbers and are still fairly easy to find. However, as with many coins, it's the rare, well-preserved examples that hold the most value. Condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's worth. Coins that are in excellent condition, free from scratches, dings, and discoloration, are far more valuable than those that show heavy wear from years of circulation. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1776 to 1976 Liberty half dollar in mint condition or uncirculated, that's when things start to get exciting. But it's not just about the condition. There's another factor at play here: varieties. Some of these coins were minted with subtle differences, such as slight design variations, and these errors can add significant value. Coins with these unusual features, like doubling in the design or other unique characteristics, are highly sought after by collectors. Now, here's the big question: just how much could a 1776 to 1976 Liberty half dollar be worth? While most of these coins can be found for a few dollars, particularly those that are heavily circulated, there's one specific version of the coin that stands out in the world of collectors, and it could be worth a staggering amount. If you happen to find one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, with a rare minting error or unusual feature, it has been known to fetch an incredible price on the market. That's right, a single 1776 to 1976 Liberty half dollar, in top-notch condition with unique characteristics, could sell for as much as $150,000. Can you believe it? A single coin, worth $150,000. It's absolutely mind-blowing to think that something as simple as a half dollar could hold so much value. This is the kind of coin that serious collectors are on the lookout for, and if you happen to have one sitting in your collection, it could be time to get it appraised. Even if you don't think you have anything extraordinary, it's always worth checking, because the right coin in the right condition could change your life. So, whether you're just starting to collect coins or you've been at it for years, always remember that a coin's value isn't just in its face value. Sometimes, it's about the history behind it, the rarity of its condition, and the special little details that make it stand out. The 1776 to 1976 Liberty Half Dollar is a perfect example of how a coin can be much more than just currency. It can be a treasure, a piece of history, and yes, even a ticket to a financial windfall. Top 3 Unique Coin. We're diving into a coin that doesn't always get the attention it deserves, but trust me, it's one you'll want to pay attention to, especially if you're a collector or investor looking for your next big find. Today, we're taking a deep look at the 1988 United States Liberty Half Dollar coin, and you won't believe just how valuable this coin could be. At first glance, the 1988 Liberty Half Dollar might seem like just another coin from the late 20th century, not something that would stand out in a collection of older, more famous coins. But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. The 1988 is part of the ongoing production of the Liberty Half Dollar series, which has been a staple of American coinage for decades. This coin features the same classic design that has come to symbolize the strength and unity of the United States, but it carries with it an interesting story that many people don't know about. The Liberty Half Dollar coin was initially introduced in 1916 and became a central part of American currency for many years. Its design has changed over the years, but the 1988 version continues to feature the iconic image of Lady Liberty on the obverse, standing tall and proud, draped in a flowing robe with a torch held high. On the reverse side, we see the eagle, a symbol of the strength and resilience of the American people, holding arrows and an olive branch in its talons, ready to defend the freedom and values of the country. Now, let's talk about the 1988 version of this coin. The mint mark refers to the fact that this particular coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the main facilities where U.S. coins are made. In 1988, the U.S. Mint produced millions of these Liberty Half Dollar coins, as they were still being circulated regularly. The 1988 just like other half dollars from this era, was used in everyday transactions and was not thought of as a particularly rare or special coin. However, that's where things get interesting. While millions of these coins were minted, many of them were worn down through years of circulation, losing their original details and becoming damaged from constant handling. The result? Most of the 1988 Liberty half dollars you find today are far from perfect, often showing signs of heavy use. But here's the kicker: this is exactly why well-preserved, uncirculated versions of the 1988 coin are so valuable. Collectors have a deep appreciation for coins in pristine condition, especially those that have survived the rigors of time and circulation. The 1988 Liberty half dollar wasn't made with the intent of being a collector's item, so finding one that's still in excellent condition is rare. When you're holding a coin in flawless, uncirculated condition, you're not just holding a piece of currency, you're holding a piece of history. And that's what drives the value of these coins up. But there's another factor at play here: rarity and demand. Over the years, the number of 1988 Liberty half dollars in excellent condition has continued to dwindle, and as more people turn to collecting rare coins, the demand for high-quality specimens has grown. The more people are interested in a coin, the more its value increases. For the 1988 Liberty half dollar, the demand for well-preserved examples has driven up its worth, especially in the case of coins that are error-free and free from signs of wear. Now, we all know that the true value of a coin lies in its condition, but what about some of the special varieties? Just like with other coins, some 1988 Liberty half dollars might have minting errors, unique characteristics, or slight variations that set them apart from the standard issue. These errors could include things like double dies or slight misstrikes, making these coins even rarer and more desirable. A coin with an error can easily fetch a much higher price than one without. So, how much is the 1988 Liberty half dollar actually worth? Well, while most coins from this year in average condition are worth only a few dollars, that's not where the excitement ends. Coins in top-notch, uncirculated condition are in high demand, and a particularly well-preserved 1988 coin can fetch some serious money in today's market. If you happen to come across one of these rare, uncirculated gems, especially one with a mint error or unique feature, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than you imagined. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you happen to have a 1988 D Liberty half dollar that's in pristine condition, it could be worth as much as $90,000, that's right, $90,000 for a single coin. It's mind-blowing to think that such a relatively modern coin could command such a high price, but this is the world of rare coin collecting, where condition, rarity, and demand come together to make a coin worth far more than its face value. So, if you've got a stash of old coins lying around, it might be time to take a closer look. Whether you find a coin in perfect condition or one with a rare minting error, you could have something much more valuable than you initially thought. Don't let the 1988 D Liberty half dollar slip through your fingers, it could be the treasure you've been looking for. Top 4 Valuable Coin. We're going to uncover the fascinating story of a coin that might just surprise you with its value. We're diving into the world of the 1971 D United States Liberty half dollar, a coin that, at first glance, may not seem like much, but when you dig deeper, it has the potential to be a game changer for your collection. Stick with me until the end of this video, and you'll discover why this particular coin is becoming one of the most sought-after pieces in the numismatic world. Before we talk about why this coin is so valuable, let's take a moment to understand the history behind the 1971 D Liberty half dollar. The Liberty half dollar, which has been a staple of American currency for generations, carries the timeless symbols of freedom and American strength. Introduced in the early 20th century, this coin has featured several different designs, but the 1971 version is particularly significant. The 1971 D coin was struck at the Denver Mint and is part of a series that celebrated the ongoing evolution of American coinage. This half dollar features the iconic portrait of Lady Liberty on the obverse, draped in a flowing robe with a torch in her right hand, a symbol of freedom lighting the way for future generations. On the reverse, you'll find the eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, a representation of the nation's readiness to defend its freedom while also seeking peace. Now, the 1971 D Liberty half dollar is part of the broader collection of coins produced in the early 1970s. These coins were widely circulated during this time and were commonly used in everyday transactions. While they didn't have the same level of immediate collector appeal as some older coins, they were still valued as currency, and most of them were worn down through years of use, losing their original shine and detail. Here's the catch, though: coins that were once seen as just another half dollar are now becoming rare, especially those in pristine, uncirculated condition. You see, over the years, many of the 1971 D coins that circulated heavily have been lost, damaged, or melted down. As time goes on, finding one of these coins in mint condition has become increasingly difficult, and that's exactly what makes the 1971 D Liberty half dollar so valuable. A coin that is well preserved and free from scratches, discoloration, or any signs of wear is a true treasure. These uncirculated coins are highly coveted by collectors because they're rare and represent an untouched piece of history. So, if you happen to come across a 1971 D Liberty half dollar in excellent condition, you may be holding on to something much more valuable than you thought. But that's not all. The 1971 D coin also stands out because of some of the variations and minting errors that make certain examples even rarer. During the minting process, there can be small imperfections, like slight misstrikes or doubling in the design. Coins with these minting errors are particularly prized by collectors, as they are one of a kind. Even a minor error can make a coin worth exponentially more, depending on the rarity and the specific mistake. Now, you're probably wondering, how much could a 1971 D Liberty half dollar be worth? You might think that because it's a relatively modern coin, it wouldn't have a huge price tag. After all, it's just a half dollar from 1971, right? Well, that's where things get really exciting. While most 1971 D Liberty half dollars in average condition are still relatively inexpensive, coins in pristine condition, especially those with minting errors, are worth significantly more. If you manage to find a well-preserved 1971 D Liberty half dollar, perhaps one that was stored away carefully in a collection or in a bank vault for years, you could be sitting on something truly valuable. This particular coin, in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, has been known to sell for an incredible price. The rarest examples, those with perfect details and unique minting errors, can fetch a price that will leave you speechless. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you happen to own one of these rare, well-preserved coins, it could be worth as much as $98,000, that's right, $98,000 for a single 1971 Liberty half dollar. It's amazing to think that a coin so seemingly ordinary could be worth so much. But this is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. What seems like a simple piece of currency can sometimes hold untold value. So, what does this mean for you? If you have a stash of old coins lying around, it might be time to take a closer look at that 1971 Liberty half dollar sitting in your collection. It could be worth far more than you initially thought, and you just might have found yourself a rare treasure. Top 5 Specialty Coin. We're about to uncover the fascinating world of the 1973 United States Liberty half dollar, a coin that may seem pretty ordinary at first glance, but let me tell you, there's much more to it than meets the eye. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this particular coin has some serious value and why collectors are going wild for it. Let's take a quick trip back in time to the year 1973. The United States was experiencing a time of great change, with the country dealing with political shifts, an evolving economy, and growing global tensions. It was in this moment that the U.S. Mint struck the 1973 Liberty half dollar, a coin that, while produced in large numbers, would later become a symbol of American coinage. Like many of the coins from this era, the 1973 Liberty half dollar was not initially thought to be anything special. It was just another coin in circulation, used in daily transactions across the country. But that's where the story gets interesting. This coin features the familiar design that's been a part of the Liberty half dollar series for years. On the obverse, you'll see the powerful image of Lady Liberty, draped in a flowing robe and holding a torch in her right hand. This striking image represents the ideals of freedom and liberty that the United States was built on. The reverse of the coin shows a majestic eagle, which is a symbol of the nation's strength and resilience. The eagle is holding an olive branch and arrows, signaling peace, but also the ability to defend freedom if necessary. But here's the thing, while this coin was made in large quantities and was in regular circulation, its value today has grown exponentially. So, what makes the 1973 Liberty half dollar so special? The key to its value lies in its condition and rarity. Like any coin, the more well-preserved it is, the more it can fetch on the open market. Over the years, many of these half dollars were worn down from constant use. Coins that were in regular circulation began to show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and damage. However, it's the coins that were carefully stored or those that avoided much use that have become the true treasures. Finding a 1973 Liberty half dollar in pristine, uncirculated condition is a rare feat when you think about it. Most of the coins from that era were used extensively, spent, passed from hand to hand, and eventually faded over time. That's what makes a coin in excellent condition so valuable. When you come across a 1973 Liberty half dollar that looks like it was just minted yesterday, with sharp details and no signs of wear, it's a real gem. But here's the even more exciting part: some 1973 Liberty half dollars have minting errors or subtle variations that make them even more valuable. Minting errors can include things like doubled dies, where the design is struck twice, or off-center strikes that give the coin a unique, one-of-a-kind appearance. These rare variants are highly sought after by collectors because they're truly special and can be worth far more than a standard, uncirculated coin. So, if you happen to find a 1973 Liberty half dollar with a rare error, your coin could be worth even more than you imagined. Now, you might be asking, how much is a 1973 Liberty half dollar actually worth? You might assume that because it's a modern coin, it wouldn't be worth a significant amount. But as with many coins in the numismatic world, condition is everything. While most circulated examples of the 1973 Liberty half dollar are still fairly affordable, those in top-notch, uncirculated condition can fetch a pretty penny. And if you've got a coin with an error or special feature, that could send its value skyrocketing. So, just how much could a single 1973 Liberty half dollar be worth? If you have one of these coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be holding onto a coin worth as much as $75,000, yes, you heard that right, $75,000 for a single 1973 Liberty half dollar. It's hard to believe that a coin from the 1970s could be worth so much, but in the world of rare coins, anything is possible. Whether you've inherited a collection, stumbled upon an old stash, or just happen to have one of these coins sitting around, it's always worth checking its condition. If it's in great shape, or even better, a rare variety, it could be worth a fortune. Top 6 Last coin. We're going to be exploring a coin that may seem relatively recent, but has a surprising value, far beyond what you'd expect from a coin minted in the 1980s. That's right, today we're talking about the 1983 United States Liberty half dollar, a coin that's been flying under the radar but is now gaining attention from collectors for its rarity and potential worth. Now, when most people think of rare coins, they tend to picture those from centuries ago, like gold or silver coins from the early days of American history. But the truth is, some of the most valuable coins out there aren't as old as you might think. The 1983 Liberty half dollar is one of those coins that proves you don't need to go back to the 1800s to find a hidden gem. This coin is only from the early 1980s, but it's already captured the attention of collectors and investors alike for several reasons. Let's start by talking about the design of the 1983 Liberty half dollar. As you may already know, the Liberty half dollar has been a symbol of American coinage for many decades. The 1983 coin, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, denoted by the P mint mark, carries the same classic design that's become synonymous with American strength and freedom. On the obverse, we see the beautiful image of Lady Liberty, draped in a flowing robe and holding a torch high, representing the ideals of freedom and enlightenment. On the reverse, we have the eagle, the national symbol of power and pride, grasping an olive branch and arrows, signifying the country's commitment to peace and, if necessary, the defense of its freedom. But what makes the 1983 Liberty half dollar so special? Well, for starters, this coin was minted in large quantities, meaning it was commonly used in everyday transactions. It was not initially seen as a rare or collectible coin, which is what made it so accessible to the public at the time. However, as the years went by, something interesting began to happen. Many of these coins were spent, circulated, and worn down over time. Most of them have become heavily damaged or worn, making them less desirable to collectors. That's where the 1983 Liberty half dollar in pristine condition comes into play. If you happen to stumble upon one of these coins that has remained uncirculated, without any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration, you're holding on to something quite rare. Uncirculated coins like these are extremely hard to come by, especially after decades of circulation. The more time that passes, the fewer coins in excellent condition are left. Collectors are always on the lookout for these pristine examples, which is why the value of well-preserved 1983 Liberty half dollars has increased significantly. Another factor that drives the value of the 1983 coin is its rarity. While the mint produced millions of these coins, the vast majority have either been lost, damaged, or melted down. A coin that survives in excellent condition becomes a rare find, and rarity is one of the key drivers of value in the world of numismatics. It's all about how few of them are left in great shape, and how much collectors are willing to pay for them, but there's more to it than just condition. Some 1983 Liberty half dollars have minting errors or subtle variations that make them even more valuable. These errors could include things like misstrikes, doubled dies, or slight inconsistencies in the design. Minting errors are highly prized by collectors because they are unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. If you're lucky enough to find a 1983 with one of these errors, it could be worth significantly more than the average coin. So, how much is a 1983 Liberty half dollar worth? Well, that's where things get really exciting. While a standard coin in average condition might only be worth a few dollars, a well-preserved, uncirculated 1983 Liberty half dollar can fetch a much higher price. Coins with unique features, such as minting errors or other rare characteristics, can drive the value up even more. In fact, a single 1983 P Liberty half dollar, especially in pristine condition or with a minting error, could be worth as much as $66,000, yes, that's right, $66,000 for a single coin. It's truly incredible that a coin minted just a few decades ago could be worth so much, but that's the beauty of the coin market. What may seem like a relatively modern coin can often carry an immense value, especially when it's in excellent condition or has unique features. So, if you've got any old coins lying around or if you've inherited a collection, it might be time to dig through them and check for any 1983 P Liberty half dollars. If you happen to find one in pristine condition, or better yet, with a rare minting error, you could be holding on to a fortune. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on more exciting coin discoveries, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.